Okay, this is going to be a series of videos dealing with a proportioning valve and brake issue on this 1993 Honda Civic Del Sol with a VTEC motor. I have disc brakes all around. Okay, yesterday I was rebuilding this guy and found out that I couldn't get the proper bolts to put it back together with. My Home Depot was out of them, so I had to wait till the next day. But this is what I got. Never built from Home Depot. Just to review, this is the valve that comes out. There's one on either side. As you see here, this one goes here, this one goes here. The O-rings, I use this one that's the equivalent to the Danco number 7. All of its dimensions matched. It's this EPDM O-ring. And it is this guy right here. This one, I wasn't able to find an equivalent, so I used the Danco, the number 83 O-ring. You see its dimensions there. And here, to seal the two valves together, or the two valve bodies, is this number 17 by Danco. It fits right in there. So we put this guy back together. Like I said, I took it apart to show y'all again where these O-rings went. This just fits down in here. We have the little silver washer. Fits right up in there. And this spring meets up against that washer. There's washers in there to keep this seat on this spring from marring the valve body. This little guy goes on the brass on both of these. Put the other side back together. And then these guys fit in here, like so. And under pressure, when you put it together, those meet up. Alright, you want to make sure your valves are fully seated. Let's put everything back together. I had to go get washers for those bolts right quick. I want to make sure that little silver spring in there seats over both brass items. Alright. Now when it's in the car, the screws are actually on the bottom, but when I'm putting it together here, I'm going to be doing it upside down. Last night went ahead and painted this guy so he looks a little bit better. You can still see he was pitted pretty bad from rust. But we're going to orient him upside down as well. This is what we're looking at. It's up against the firewall this way. You've got your 2 and your 2 and your singles. Everything has to be oriented the same. And then what you're going to do, I put a washer on there to keep the bracket in good shape. Just get this started a little bit while everything's oriented. And your other side. I'm actually going to have to flip it around to keep this washer in place. Just kind of eyeball it, make sure everybody stayed where they're supposed to. And these, fortunately, are 10 millimeter like everything else. Now finger tighten everything first, like you saw me before I put the tool on. And I kind of clean these threads up by running the one bolt that was in good shape in and out of them to make sure that there was no marred up threads, and it went in fine. So I tested my original over at Home Depot to verify what threads it was and matched it up. But you want to go back and forth between the two sides to make sure that you tighten them up evenly. And again, my washer's getting a little off kilter, so you want to pay attention to that. So let me loosen it up a little and reorient it. It's hard to do this on camera and keeping everything in frame. Okay, got it back in there and seated. Okay, now mine I bought intentionally a little bit shorter because I didn't want the thread sticking up and getting all gooped up and problematic like before. And I used a size that I can use a real wrench on to loosen and tighten. So there's the unit, all put back together, all cleaned up. You see all that goop from before is gone. So now it's just time to put it in the car. Okay, back at the car. You remember this view of all the lines intersecting? Now, there's a little plastic bracket right down here that's clamped on 3 lines. It's just a little clip. I opened the clip up so that the lines could move a little freer, and the same with this clip here. I felt that was the best way to get this little fella oriented properly. Let's hope it goes in easier than it came out. I'm not trying to tighten it on the bracket, I just want to get it lined up. All the holes. And once those lines are on, it is not going to be easy. There we go, 1, 2. There we go. So it's in its spot. Now we can begin to line up our lines. Now we're not going to run anything in as far as the fasteners until we get all these lines actually put in the holes. And this one was my biggest booger bear last time. Actually, the one on the very bottom down here is tight this go around. So maybe we'll go for him. Okay, there's that fella. There's that guy. Other side. There's 1 and 2. I see him. Right back here. There we go. Now, word of wisdom, always, always, always finger tighten this stuff. Don't ever try and start any of these guys with a tool. You know what? Let me get this before he goes in. Let me get his bracket flopped around. There we go. I'm going to put this just a little bit back in so I don't have to deal with it flopping on me. There we go. Now again, not tight, just want to get him so he's not flopping down where I'm working. I'm going to try not to block the camera while I get these guys started, but no promises. See, he's going in smooth. 1 down. And again, I'm not tightening this bracket up any or putting any bolts on because I want this play to help me get everything lined up. And always pull back on them. That'll let you know if you're getting them or not. He's going to be a pain. Let me move on all these lower ones. I'll come back to him. So those 2 right now are good. Okay, that one's going in. This one down here, the bottom one to the front, his angle is a little off, and he's wanting to push himself in there real tight. Push his line a little from the far right, see if I can't get some slack. so he's not pushing up against the wall. Thanks to the leaking brake fluid, these lines, some of the paint has come off, and it was blocking this from moving. Couldn't get it to move to be able to get it to spin, so I had to work with it a little bit. Try and get these others oriented. Okay, this bottom one's playing nice. See, it's actually binding itself a little bit on the bracket. See, I'm trying to relieve some of the pressure by pulling back here so it's not forcing it into one side or the other. The last thing you want is these things to strip at all. And they're fine threaded, so. Okay, the trick, see this finger? I pushed down on it and I was able to get my angle this way and front to back straight enough that I got him to go in part way. At least enough turns that I know he's catching by hand. You can see he's in there good. Now I gotta do the same with this guy. And he's hard because he's fighting with this line. There we go. So by coming in under with this hand here, around the fuel filter, I was able to pull and wiggle the line. There we go. They're all moving. Now that everybody's finger tight, I'm gonna go ahead and start running all the fasteners back. Now if you remember, this guy was underneath. I'll make this fun. There we go. Okay. There we go. I had one that went right up here. Let's put this on with your fingers. There we go. And our nuts here. One, number two. And this one that's a little bit larger goes on here. And then we got a feel for it up under. That will be all of our fasteners started. And the reason I want to go ahead and tighten everything down is I want, when I'm running these lines in, I don't want this moving around. I want it nice and solid. There we go. So these lines are holding this bracket in tight, so I'm not worried about going ahead and tightening it down pretty firmly instead of going around and around and around, because it's held in place already. Last little bit. Let's check these guys. Yep. Good. Good. And he does not want to. Okay, I loosened this guy back a little bit so I could get some maneuverability. This bracket's a little finicky. Let's see if we can't get him on now. There we go. Okay, that's all our brackets. Now it's on to tighten up the lines. I'm going to start out with the regular wrench, but when I do my final tightening, I'm going to be doing it with the line wrench. So there's a nice tediousness of it. Yeah. Flip, flip, flip. Okay, I'm going to basically do this with all these guys. And I'm not tightening any one up really, really snug. I'm kind of moving around the unit. Make sure everybody snugs up evenly. See how everybody's moving nice and easy without, and I'm just using these two little fingers to do this, just super gentle. I know nobody's stripped. On some of these where I don't get real good throw, I kind of put the wrench on it and twist it. Well, let me show you. I kind of grab it like this and twist this way. Okay, I've snugged him up with this guy. Now we're gonna go to this one to give us our final snug ups, just to be sure I don't round any edges. I'm not going hog wild, just I don't want to stretch any threads. Remember, this one goes the other way. Just go until I feel a little resistance. Okay. Now the last little beast here. There's always one that there's no good way to reach it. 20 minutes of on-camera struggling. You don't want to know how long that really took. But all these fasteners, everybody's tight. Now I just gotta put these plastic guys back on and we'll be good to start bleeding brakes. I don't know what was worse, installing these stupid brackets back here and here. And this line still doesn't want to behave. It was this guy who gave us all those fits. Anyway, it's in, it's tight, it's rebuilt. Now it's time to bleed the lines. So to make a new plug for mine, I'm going to use these little silicone rubber plugs I got in the kit. And I'm going to cut off the excess about like so, based on my measurements. Sorry, I'd gotten out of frame there. And then I'm going to test fit it and see how it fits in there, if it'll stay snugly or not. Okay, so this little end piece is what I'm left with. So I'm going to go ahead and plug him in to keep dirt and debris out of that little weep hole port. How to get my arm in there. And that will keep out any dirt and debris and mimic the factory one, so that I don't have to worry about it. Yes, it would have been smarter to do it on the bench, but I didn't have the kit yet, so I'm doing it now. So there you go. As close to OEM as I can get, because I don't know if they sell those as replacements. It'd be nice if somebody made a rebuild kit. So that's the full repair. Hey, me from the future again. Since I did the repair over the years, this is one I got from a junkyard. You can see what the plug is supposed to look like when it's intact and in good condition. This is one I had gotten off the internet, off eBay, right after as a backup. So they just cut the lines to get it, you know, from the junkyard quickly and efficiently. And I don't even remember if I pulled those lines off or if they were already undone. I mean, this thing looks pretty grimy, the bracket and whatnot, but that doesn't mean that it didn't fail at some point. Somebody just put it all back, you know, replaced it and put it all back together. But you should be able to see now with this phone, better than with the other one. There's the 1725. This one's got a lot better resolution than the one I originally filmed with. The question was about the silicone plug. Well, I had kept the pieces from where I did mine. So, see, that was a little black silicone plug. This was the kit of the plugs. I'll put a link in the description. But I don't know if I took this off the top or off the bottom, but that was what I ended up doing. I just cut a section out so that it fits snugly and mimicked that plug. So, yeah, that's the answer to that question. Hey you guys, here we are 60,000 miles later. Things have changed a little bit, but the proportioning valve is holding strong. So I just wanted to throw this at the end of the video and let you guys know, even though this repair was done a while back, update here, it is holding strong. And if you found the content useful, helpful, were you able to rebuild yours? What have you done? Have you swapped from another car? What has been your solution if you've come across this, or are you following suit and rebuilding yours just like I did? let me know. Throw me a comment. You know, give me a like if you found this content useful. If it helped you out, subscribe. Best thing we can do is keep these videos alive by commenting and liking and sharing so that other people can find them who are in need. Anyway, just wanted to say thanks and throw this at the tail end. All right, take care, guys. Bye.